Hey guys, DutchGuitarDude here again. Welcome to my guitar channel. 2 weeks ago I was on Thomas Blug, his live stream, Academy of Tone, with an interview about me, how I came to play guitar, what my background is, and we talked also about Boss MS3 and the Amp1 and the combination of the two. So I'm going to show you the video. It's on his channel too. But I just took our section, the section where I am interviewed, and I'm going to show you that now, so enjoy.
But I invited our dear friend Erik de Jong from the Netherlands because he is kind of the expert when it comes to the MS3. We shot a little video where he explains the unit in detail. So enjoy the next section of this live stream. Remember that we will have a few questions that I can answer in the live stream, but I'm not physically present. So if you want to have me check out stuff for you, please write and I will take care of those in the next episode. Stay tuned. A very warm welcome to Mr. Erik de Jong from the Netherlands. We came across him on, I think on Facebook, and one day he showed up as somebody that was posting about the Amp1. And then the more you see what he was posting, I kind of got a feel for Erik, and I thought, wow, this man knows what he's doing. And then finally we even had contact and talked a bit, and we got into a deeper connection. But let us know, Erik, please, what is your background?
Well, my background, I started playing guitar in the late 80s. And I started, my first reference was my dad, because he played guitar too. I'm part Indonesian, my dad is Indonesian, and all Indonesians play the guitar a little bit, you know. So I started with the Shadows thing, that was really his thing. He showed me some songs. Apache was my first song, I think. Exactly. And then we went to, I went to listen to George Benson. I listened to that a lot. And then I went to high school, and a guy said to me, you play the guitar? I said, yes, I play the guitar. He said, do you know Jimi Hendrix? I said, well, I heard the name, but I didn't really listen to his music. So he gave me a cassette, you know, cassette. And he said, listen to this. And from them, it was rock and roll.
Okay, yeah. Jimi Hendrix did have a lot of influence on guitar players, because he was kind of maybe the most energetic and wildest guy in a way, going to the weirdest places in music.
Yeah.
Or what gave you the hook with Jimi Hendrix?
I think the whole experience, the sound. I heard sounds I never heard before. Even in the 80s, there were sounds from Hendrix that are still not heard nowadays, you know. So his use of the Univibe, of the wah-wah in Voodoo Child, it was crazy. Just,
unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable. To this day.
Yeah. I have to mention a little bit about you being Dutch, that I have a Dutch connection as well through my Thomas Blug band. And there's a guy in the band, his name is Thijs van Leer, and Thijs is the head of the Dutch band Focus.
Yeah.
And we had like a great time span of 10 years or 15 years together, where we recorded, this was the Best Of album. Then we kind of started with this live in Raalte. Raalte is also a town in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
At a Hoftheater, very nice theater. I got booked there, and then finally I ended up even recording with Thijs' daughter, which is Berenice van Leer, and the whole story with this band and playing a few gigs in the Netherlands was quite an experience for me.
Yeah.
So what is Thijs van Leer to Dutch people?
Well, if you ask the kids nowadays, nobody knows him.
Sure.
But I know Thijs from, obviously, the connection for me is Focus. Focus,
Yeah.
Jan Akkerman. Yeah, that's that. And when I think of Thijs van Leer, I think of the flute.
The
you know?
flute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And the yodeling.
Yeah, yodeling in what was it, in Sylvia or something? I don't know. But that's what I know from him.
Yeah. And I know a little more. He is rewarded by the Dutch Queen for Knight of the Music for the Dutch country, something like this. So he has like a medal. And he has 11 children, a very musical family. And Focus used to be a huge instrumental band.
Yeah.
And this goes back to the early 70s, even before the time when I made music.
Yeah.
But they had a number 3. Hocus Pocus was number 3 in the US charts. So maybe you know, as a... and so on. So this was the big hit of Focus.
Yeah.
And for me, the guys from the Netherlands, they always had a very musical taste. When I was there, I always thought, man, the guys in the Netherlands, they have cool musicians. They always also had like groove music, like soul and stuff like that, maybe more like in Germany.
Yeah.
So I was always kind of impressed by the Dutch being so open and kind of on a world level.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Do you feel this?
I think that's true. Dutch people are very open to everything. And when you talk about musicians, just picking up influences from all over the world and incorporating that into playing and into the songs. I think that's true what you are saying. Yeah.
Yeah. And talking about Jan Akkerman, the original guitar player in Focus.
Yeah.
I think he was a real master at that time, and he's still a killer guitar player.
Yeah. True.
I even bought solo records of Jan Akkerman before I knew about Thijs and Focus, in my childhood days. And some of the records, I have to admit, are unbelievable skills. And now, since I know Thijs so deeply, I know how deep the knowledge of harmony, of music theory, of a lot of things was in that band, which was, to me, extraordinary. I've never met somebody with this kind of deep knowledge. I remember Thijs was doing a blues one day, like a 12-bar blues.
Yeah.
And every chord in the blues was a substitution from the substitution from the substitution.
Yeah.
And nobody could follow, every stroke was wrong.
Yeah.
So he had this kind of, at the next moment he was kind of going on his Bach kind of thing with the flute.
Yeah.
And we played Helsinki, Finland.
Yeah.
And then, one morning Thijs simply said, "Hey, Tommy, you want to go for a stroll? Or we have a little thing." And then he saw a church, and then with his kind of huge leather jacket, we went into the church, black leather jacket.
Yeah.
He took the flute. He was standing in the middle of the church, and then he played some beautiful Bach.
Yeah.
And, he's that kind of character.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. All good. So back to the MS3 and the Amp1. How did you get connected with the Amp1 and the MS3? So,
okay, that's we have to go back a year or 3 years back. I bought a Boss Katana, and it's a wonderful amp, and I played it for about 2 years, I think. but there was something missing for me, and that was the feel, and the feel of the notes jumping out when you play it, the attack of the notes. That's what I'd miss.
Yeah.
I miss that with every digital modeling
Digital products.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then I could buy the Amp1 from a guy here in Holland. I go to his house. He said, "Come try it out." Well, it took me 2 minutes, I think. I was sold. So
Okay.
I bought it, and then in the beginning I used it with my Zoom G3. That's just multi-effects processor, and then I thought I want to change channels and stuff with via MIDI. So then I bought the Boss MS3, and well, that's been the combo ever since, and that's I think 6 months already.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
And so what I like about the MS3 is it's so compact.
Yeah.
I kind of I saw it on a trade show, and I thought, for guys that want a multi-effects MIDI switcher with built-in effects and programmable loops, it's a nice, neat, small package that can do a lot for the guys that don't need how many too many foot switches. This has only 4.
Yeah.
But what I like about it, it has this kind of 2 effects on one layer.
Yeah.
I have here the sound number 1 is just with reverb, and then if I hit it another time, the delay goes on, and I have like one sound with like 2 type of effects.
Yeah.
And
true.
this gives you a dry rhythm sound here.
Yeah.
And then I hit it again, and I got my delay.
Yeah. Well, I use it like that too. That's called the kernum function. There you can add an extra switch to the switch you're already using in the patch, and I use that too. I have my basic setup. You will show the photos here. Is I'm using the foot switch of the patch. If I hit it again, it's it's a modulation effect, and then I have an extra set of switches on the side of the Boss MS3, and that's always available, a boost and a delay. And so my patches are ordered with different modulation effects on the head foot switch, so to speak.
Yeah, and in the combination with MIDI, which channels of the Amp1 are you using?
Well, I'm using basically the clean channel, the vintage, and the classic. The modern channel is not my thing. It's too dense,
too gamey.
too gamey. So I like and I'm really torn between the vintage and the classic. In the beginning, I used the vintage only, but the classic, it really starts to grow on me because of the mids that are in the classic channel.
Yeah, I heard a nice comment from another colleague just this weekend, and he started with the classic, and he said, "Oh yeah, the classic was always my favorite, but now I discovered the vintage." There's something you connect to, and then you can still discover something in the Amp1.
Yeah,
and here comes the thing that you are always now famous for on the internet and on YouTube and on Facebook. You became the zero gain mode man.
Yeah.
So let us know from first hand what your story is about zero gain mode.
Yeah, I was just trying out to alter the gain through MIDI. That was the thing. So I had my gain knob on 7 or 8, and I think, I can turn it down with the MIDI. That's really convenient, so I can have different gain levels on different patches instead of turning the knob on stage, And then I thought, well, let's see what it does when I set the gain to 0. I thought there would be no sound. That was my thinking.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And so by accident, I set it on 0. I play, and I think, wow, this really sounds great, because on the vintage channel, it's like a broken up Fender,
Clean.
Fendery, Jimi Hendrix, Little Wing kind of sound. That's the sound of the vintage channel with the gain turned down. And because I know there is a treble bleed on the gain channel,
Yeah.
I thought I set it on 10, then I don't have the too much treble on my gain on my gain sounds, and then set it to 0 and then boost it with pedals, and that works really really beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's also something that I kind of rediscovered from you. It's like I kind of like the channels as they are. This is why I designed them that way. But on the other hand, it's also sometimes beautiful to use the gain of a pedal and have the Amp1 holding back a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and then there are some magic combinations of pedals, especially with the vintage and the classic channel on low gain.
Yeah.
I mean, the classic channel on high gain doesn't need any more gain. There's maybe just a coloration of a different EQ that would do any good. Anything else would be too muddy and too much anyhow.
Yeah.
But especially with the vintage channel and the low gain or the 0 gain, you have much room to have the more character of your pedals.
True. Absolutely true. And I like the sound of the pedals better on the 0 gain mode on the vintage channel than on the clean channel. On the clean channel, it's too fizzy somehow for me.
Yeah, I understand. To get somewhere close to that, you had to use the clean channel on 10 as well.
Yeah.
But then you are missing your nice and sparkly clean tones.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's a frequency thing. But if I look at the like schematics of the different preamp channels in Amp1, the vintage channel has a different gain staging going on.
Yeah.
And that is kind of giving it a different kind of compression and a different clipping curve. And this, of course, combined with gain pedals gets super rich. The tones from a pedal come even more alive than on a full loaded tube amp that is just clean.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So there's a magic about gain stacking, having gain from pedals and gain from the amp.
Yeah.
And it's like adding spices to a meal, just a little bit of that and a little bit of another spice, and then it blends to a rich, big flavor.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And when you do it through MIDI, instead of using the knob, setting the knob real low, you can still have high gain if you want to, because then you set the MIDI gain all the way open.
Yeah, sure. So there's tons of options.
Yeah.
Is there any sounds that you have on tap that you could show us?
Yeah, I can show you. This is my vintage 0 gain I have here. Well, now I have the boost on. I use the boost and the reverb button. I don't have that in the program because I want to change that on the fly when I need it and when. So this is this is 0 gain on the vintage channel. So that's really break up, you know.
Yeah.
And if I add my Voodoo 1, and still with the volume knob, every pedal sounds good with the volume knob too. So and for this patch I have a tremolo on the head on the master switch, so to speak. And a delay, I always have a delay. So, well, that's one patch, and with that, that's how I start. I always start with this kind of patch, vintage 0 gain, and from there I build my other patches in the same bank upon that. More gain, a pedal added, other effects. That's how I built my patches, like that.
Yeah, super cool. And by the style you're playing, I heard some Michael Landau-ish chords.
Yeah. Yeah, so Michael Landau. That's really my reference these days when it comes to guitar playing, guitar tone. songwriting also. It's I saw him a few times already. I went to Germany when I was really sick, but I needed to see his trio work.
Yeah.
Just bass, drums, guitar. Well, it was really cool. I met him. We shook hands. He signed my Maxon SD9 as a gesture. But his sound is also really dynamic. It's really dynamic, and he plays. I asked him a few questions a few months ago about his technique, and I did it via email. He sent an email back. I was really surprised by that because I thought I won't hear a thing from him. And he explained totally how he uses his gain sounds, and it's all about gain stacking, and very important, using the guitar volume. He said to me, I never have the guitar volume on 10. 8 is a max for me, so it's always between 3 and 8.
Yeah, and see, there's a certain thing about the pickup making this kind of special curve with a peak.
Yeah.
And when you turn down the volume, the peak kind of changes the shape.
Yeah.
And this is where you get all these in-between colors, which are so beautiful. I'm the same kind of guy.
Yeah.
I just like the high end more than you guys, but that's my personal taste.
Yeah, because he doesn't use a treble bleed, and I'm basically the same. Because to me, the volume is not only a volume control; it's also a tone control.
Yeah. Very, very important. I had heard my best concert ever was a Michael Landau concert. I was in Los Angeles in the Baked Potato.
Yeah.
And I was shocked how good it was.
Yeah.
And I was also shocked how small the Baked Potato is. Have you been there?
No, but I know it's small, but I haven't been there.
It is smaller than the clubs that I play.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, but the atmosphere is killer because this is like a wood house with carpet and it is the right atmosphere to watch concerts.
Yeah.
And and you are just in front of the band or the player, and you can see everything.
Yeah.
I was like literally 3 meters away from his guitar neck. And I saw him playing, and it was like it was a trip. It was kind of a flight to the universe and back.
Yeah.
And then the next year, I booked myself into the same venue with the same Michael Landau with a different band.
Yeah.
And the concert was not as good. So I decided I have the best memory of him, and I will keep that. So I saw my best concert with Michael Landau, and I probably don't go anymore unless he invites me.
Yeah. But that was his trio? Did you see his trio?
Yeah.
Or? Yeah. That's
trio.
It's
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's really good. And for me, when I saw him, I was amazed about the control he has over his guitar sound. Really.
Oh yeah.
It's always in balance. It's always in the right gain structure mode, so to speak. It's really awesome.
And I'm admiring him as a player because he has so many musical ideas.
Yeah.
He can play rock and Hendrixy,
Yeah.
and then he throws out some bebop lines and inside out playing, and just for fun.
Yeah.
And sometimes he makes this.
Yeah,
It's like, hey guys, I know what you are waiting for, and I give it to you.
Yeah, true.
Such a good character, and that nice humor too.
Yeah.
The way he plays is very humorous.
Yeah, true. Like Hendrix.
And honest at the same. Yeah. So I like the vibe that he can create.
And he's really. I talked to him, and he's a really humble and how do you call a sympathetic guy, really.
Yeah. But in the meantime, I heard a lot of stories because I have friends in LA, and he's there. He's doing his thing. If you don't know Michael Landau, check him out. It's definitely worth doing.
Absolutely.
Super important.
Yeah.
Cool. What else is on the list? Do you have anything on the programming side you can show us?
Yeah, I can show you how it goes with the MIDI thing. I think it's really easy to program. You see in the display here, what you see now is just the patch name. I will enter the edit Now you see the display, and you see just the whole line of all the effects from beginning to end. It's really simple. So you just scroll through all the effects to adjust the effects and to turn them on or off, and you can program that on the switches, of course. And then on the last section there's a control section, and with the control section you can really do crazy things. I will turn on, go to the MIDI side now, just to show you the MIDI. Channel 1, because the Amp1 works on channel 1. And very important. Program change. I have a video on my YouTube channel how to make program change programs with the Boss MS3 and the Amp1. I suggest to people to go look at that video. Yeah, we will have a link in the description below. Great. So people, please check the link and watch Erik's full video on that one. And then the last thing of the MIDI is the actual gain. So the CC20 parameter and control. Control. CC means control change command. You know, so I mean, this MIDI is a thing you understand. I understand, but a lot of people don't understand. So I kind of keep repeating it to make sure that people learn it like at school. You know, there's program change commands, which we use for the MIDI learn, how to connect the different channels and boost and reverb of Amp1 with a program. And then inside the program of the MS3 or your MIDI device, there is the control change information that will be sent out with the preset, and that is then controlling the gain, which is CC20. Right, exactly. And so as they can see in the video here, it's on 0, and well, you can have gain stages from 0 to 127, so everything possible. Everything possible. And well, let me show you some of the sounds I have in this bank. So what you just heard was the vintage clean. The second one is with the boost on. The third channel is the classic channel, and that's gain about 80%, I think. And then the last one is the classic channel with the boost on, full gain. With a lot of delay, and well, delay effects and all the modulation effects are available in the Boss MS3. If people see my pedal board, there's a lots of other pedals, and people might think, why are you using so much pedals? Because everything is in the Boss MS3. Whoa, my guitar. But your guitar falls apart? No, the volume knob makes a lot of noise. Okay. Yeah, but pedals, analog pedals, sometimes have a different character compared to the digital models inside the multi-effects. Absolutely. And some of the digital models are pretty good and have their own character, but some of the analog pedals are still unbeatable, and therefore it's if you have your one and only beloved whatever Jimi Hendrix Uni-Vibe sound, then use that pedal for that effect. I have a digital Uni-Vibe and an Octavio. First, in general, I haven't seen a digital fuzz that sounds good anyway. And the same with the Uni-Vibe. I can show it here because I have a setup with the Uni-Vibe on the Boss MS3. This is the Boss MS3. It sounds good, but when I turn on my analog photocell Uni-Vibe, it's just deeper. Yeah. So, and as I have an Octavio on board, that's, well, as I said, there isn't a digital device that does a good fuzz or Octavio
fuzz,
sound.
Yeah.
And one pedal I always must have on my board is my stereo chorus, the Arion. And the chorus, well, Boss makes beautiful choruses, but this is not a chorus. It's, for me, this is my, how do you call it? Leslie sound.
Simulator, yeah.
So I always have that on my board too.
Yeah, and you know, that's the beauty of some pedals. They have a character, and therefore you buy them.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty cool to combine the whole thing. And the Amp1 is so small, it fits on the pedal board, and you throw in a few pedals, and there is your rig. You know, back in the days, you had a pedal board, and you had an amp, and you had extra effects.
Yeah.
And now you can handle it in a way. It's not like too much.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's really small because I have a reasonable small pedal board with everything on it, including the Amp1, and it's so easy. I set it on the ground, connect the guitar, connect the speaker, done. Play.
Yeah, and this is what it's all about. Play the music.
Yeah.
So I think we have a lot of information from Erik now. Please check out his YouTube channel, and we will send you the description below. And if you do have any more questions, let us know. You can ask me, you can ask Erik. And we have the Facebook user group where you are also kind of present. I can see some of your posts, which I have to thank you very much, because sometimes I'm so busy. At the beginning, I was trying to be there every day, but now it's like I'm working on other things, and I'm so happy that guys like you take a little bit care of what I usually do. Of the group. Thank you so much.
No problem.
For doing the group.
I want you to concentrate on the other big thing.
Sure, same here. So, you know, I only have one life, and I have 24 hours a day, and I need a little sleep. You can see the rings, and all the rest goes into the guitar. You know, making amplifiers and a little bit of playing, and that's my life. So, hey, thank you again, Erik.
Okay,
this
no
was
problem.
A sheer pleasure to have you here. And see you on Facebook and YouTube, and maybe in a future episode here.
Okay, great.
Okay, take care. Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Erik de Jong. It was a pleasure to have you here on our live stream. As I said, you know, there's more. If you go to Facebook in our user groups, he's very present over there, and he's got his own YouTube channel. We will see each other live and